Hello and welcome to this Mayoral Community Forum for April 2024. The Glenarden Mayoral Community Forum seeks not only to encourage but to build an advocacy for our residents. And it's critical that each of us in our society reach to our maximum potential. That is greater independence, productivity, and increased integration within and around our community. By raising this community awareness, the Mayoral Community Forums seek to unite and find solutions for better inclusion, diversity, and increasing our awareness, both domestically amongst the United States of America, and tonight we are happy to say internationally with the Impact Sierra Leone family. We are grateful to have and be able to bring this awareness program to improve not only the day in life of our community leaders, but to also introduce you to other community leaders that are doing great things in and around Prince George's County, the state of Maryland, the United States of America, and as we'll find out tonight, impacting even Sierra Leone. Yes. Tonight, we are honored to have Dr. Adama Kalokia. She is a global humanitarian, a Goodwill Ambassador Foundation. She also is a chairperson for Sustainable Development Goals and an advocate, motivational speaker, and an author of Women Empowerment Leadership. She is the founder of Impact Sierra Leone, and she was recently named one of the most distinguished women of change in Africa for the 2022-2021 by the Cityscope Africa. She is an African woman change maker who is excelling in a multitude of fields and industries. And tonight, we get to hear from this phenomenal leader in the community, a proud descendant of the Sierra Leone family. She's had her passion for helping others. She's built her Sierra Leonean heritage, and she's also built a major public health as well as community health and underground studies opportunity to educate others about the beauty, the wonder, and the intricacy of the Sierra Leone family. We're talking the nation of Africa tonight, folks. Welcome to you, Dr. Adama. It's a beauty to have you back on our program.
Yes, indeed. It is a pleasure and an honor to be back here.
I also wanted to say hello to our queen, Miss Virginia World Over 60, Dr. Gloria Crosland. Welcome to you, madam.
Thank you.
So if we're looking at Sierra Leone, I don't want to steal any thunder, but I know Sierra Leone is moving hard in a more positive direction following the rebellion that happened. They put that down, had their official democratic elections, and have moved hard in the direction of successes in peace building, commissioners, and building women involvement, youth empowerment, and all the decision-making processes that are democratically aligned to the government that's now in place, to include incorporating the farmers that are out in the most rural and austere areas of the nation. Dr. Adama, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, yes. Is it the platform? If it's open, I'll go ahead and start. Thank you so much again for welcoming me. It was an honor to be on this show before I left to go to Sierra Leone, and it's even a greater honor to be back and to tell the story, share the journey, share the impact, and just, really show how we are all one in trying to reach that goal and helping others thrive, help others to just be able to have those basic necessities. So I'm honored. I'm excited. I'm wearing one of the dresses they made for me. Still, I can't hear my left ear because, from the airplane, I just came yesterday. But again, I'm honored. This is my passion. I know I was created to do this. So I'm glad to be able to share just all the amazing things that we were able to accomplish in 3 weeks. And I always entitle it, I think if you go onto whatever I posted, the journey of impact is our theme. that is what has led me in every moment of our journey, of our outreach. I let people know, I let my team know, this is the journey of impact. We are on a journey, and we are on a path to help people in a great way, but do it in a way that is empowering, engaging. And that's what you see in the pictures. We didn't want to just go and see poverty and, and let people know and feel like they're impoverished. We want people to know that they are empowered. And so that is what we represent. That's what I represent. Everyone has a potential to be a valuable resource to the society. And when you help people realize that, they change. And so that's what we did. And I'm so honored to be able to come back and be their voice.
What a beautiful start to a perfect 2024. And I can tell you, I've talked to Dr. Adama, and she's gave me some insight into some of the more progressive building opportunities that she's planning later on in the year. And I told her I need to become a stowaway in her bag so that we can do this together. Because many of you know I have the heart of service and myself and the sense of pride of this community, as I've heard and seen and walked this walk with you through your pictures. Now, what are some of the key milestones? Or do you want me to go ahead and show the presentation as you walk through it?
I think you can show some of the pictures, and then I can speak more to it, because I want people to really be in Sierra Leone. I want to take you guys, even if it's for a few minutes. I think we can just kind of quickly go through some of the pictures, and then I will dive more into it. How about that?
Okay, let me get the screen up here. Tell me when you're able to see it, Dr. Adama.
Okay. Okay, so I think we just need to put it in presentation mode. That way it can be full. I think if you go up top, it should say start slideshow or something like that.
Let's see, right here.
All the way up top, that top ribbon. Yeah, there we go. All right, so allow me to take you to Sierra Leone in a few minutes, and I will explain more out so that we can kind of, go quickly through them. As again, I let you know that our theme was the journey of impact. And it basically was an outreach visit, a mission visit, if you will, to Sierra Leone. I usually go every year around Christmas time. This time it was during the spring and during the Easter. So it was nice and hot. Again, I'm Dr. Adama Koloko, and our motto, as I always say, is united we stand, together we rise. And so a lot of the pictures will show how we at Impact Sierra Leone help others in rural communities, farmers, help them rise. Next slide. All right, so I'm just going to show just a few photos. These were just some pictures of me on the journey to the village. This is a city called Mal 91. And of course, while I was in the car, I had my phone out. Even when I didn't have reception, I was, going on a journey. So these are just glimpses of Sierra Leone as we went along. Next slide. All right, so and please forgive me if I'm skipping, but follow me. During our events, because it was Women's History Month, as you know, Mayor, I said I wanted to make sure we did something special for the women. And about a couple years ago, we started a farm group for the women, because that is what they desire, to have their own farm project. And 40 women are part of the Women's Farm Collaborative. And so as part of this trip, I said, I wanted to engage them. I wanted to really take them and really empower them. And I'm an artsy person. So I said, we're going to do sip and paint. So every woman received a paint board, which I had already shipped, and they received paints. And that picture on the right is a picture that I drew, but I personally sketch different pictures for them to paint, and they loved it. I mean, these are people who usually go to the field and are working day in and day out as farmers. So to be able to escape and have that moment, it was breathtaking. And I'm glad that idea popped up in my head. So standing with one of the women farmers with a sign called Empowered to Love. And again, I'm an arts person, so I always encourage people, use your skills, your gifts and talent. You never know how they're going to be used to inspire. And while I didn't go to art school or, I was able to use and make a lot of picture posters and explain it to them, because we're working with people who are illiterate. So that meant a lot. Next slide.
So on the literacy rate, I know that out in the more rural areas, no different than in America either, by the way.
Yes, ma'am.
Occasionally, uh, the reception, you talked about the phone reception. So getting education, resources, and those types of uh, nation building, people building, those things that the nation of Sierra Leone themselves are trying to push out to the outer lands.
Yes, yes, that is essential. Light, just regular light in the rural parts, access to water, safe, clean drinking water, and power. Those are struggles, and so we do what we can. Like I said, I'll explain more about some of the solutions that we're trying to put in place. And mainly infrastructure. That is like the key nucleus solution to a lot of these issues, because you can put solar on the roof and you can kind of place those towers, and then you can be able to install a well. So that is definitely a challenge for them. And so that was why we did things to try and really just brighten their life, brighten their day, even if it was for that brief moment. And so that was what we utilized. But that is definitely true, ma'am. It is a struggle for them.
And
Um,
art is a beautiful way to bring out people's worth, because when you see something like art, as beautiful as you've painted here, come outside of your body, out of your mind, it
yes,
actually does empower. So the women empowerment movement, I mean, really is on a way there. And I can see just in the background with all of the beautiful things and all of the opportunities that you're bringing.
yes,
And you got your team there, and even with the ladies, the pictures that I saw through your Facebook posts and other things clearly told me that literacy is a state of mind. It really
yes,
is. So I
yes,
saw a lot of interaction, and I also saw a lot of determination. So
yes.
is that something, would you yourself codify that as literally being literate? Now we think of literacy as reading, writing, and arithmetic. But the
Right.
truth is, my father always said, common sense, street sense beats
Yes.
book sense almost all the time.
I would definitely agree on that, because even while we were doing it, we weren't speaking the same language, but we were understanding. I had a translator that was helping me to speak to the women about what we were doing. And once they realized this is something that I'm going to create, and that after each person created their picture, they got to take a picture with me. You should see how excited they were to come and bring and show me what they did. And they all call me mama, because they look at me as, a big person, being the CEO. And it was an honor to be able to pull that out. Even again, in that brief moment, I feel like it was a powerful moment, because they were with their children and they could show their children that your mother can do something. And I almost got emotional, because I didn't, you don't realize the things that you feel like are small are huge, because they're going to take
Absolutely.
it to their home, and they're going to remember that moment where Dr. Adama came and poured into them. And so that's what I tell people. You don't need to have so many different huge ideas or whatnot. Sometimes it's the simple things. And again, this is an activity that we're going to continue to do, because the other community members are like, where's our picture? So I said, you know what, we're going to include, whilst we are in the waiting of trying to build infrastructures, we're going to do more arts projects. And we're
No,
going to
I
do with
love
the
it.
women, and that. So that's an opportunity that I'm going to reach out to all my arts people. You want to reach a community. That's a way, that's a door opener that we want to offer, because like in a few months, I already know I'm going to send a barrel of more arts and stuff, so that we can do more empowerment skills and arts training activities there. So that's
Absolutely.
what's more there.
And in the city of Glenarden, I host the Creative Youth Arts Summit and Conference annually. And for the past 2 years, we've actually focused on fashion and entertainment as alternative career choices. As we're even seeing in our young folks growing here in America, that alternative career choice is really and truly evolving in the mindsets of our young folks. When we talk about youth empowerment, you brought up how the parents are now have something tangible in their hands that they are able to then encourage and show their children. If I
Yes.
can do this, and you know what you thought of me, then
Right.
what could you do even better? I love that. Dr. Crossland, I see your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Let's see if I can turn my camera on. Well, I'll leave my camera. I'll turn it on. Let's see. Am I on?
Oh, I see you. We see you.
Hi. Okay. Hi. So I attended a competition of master level students, and they all had pitches and they pitched their ideas. Well, as we all know, there's nothing new under the sun. And so it was, I don't know how many of them, but I was there for the last six, the top six. One of the young ladies who won, by the way, her pitch was paint therapy, art therapy.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me, for young underprivileged youth. And the caveat, the difference to hers compared to just the regular arts is she posts it on her website, the art for sale. And half of the proceeds go back into the nonprofit, which half of that half is saved in a trust for the youth, which
I love that.
Which builds financial literacy, which also builds compound interest so that they can see over time how that works. And then they have this trust fund because they sell the art on her website. Of course, I don't want to get into all of that, but I would love to help develop this with you in the future.
I would love that. I would love that. And
That is wonderful.
you know what you're speaking to is the magic word that I left with my team is sustainable development. We want to turn this rural community into a sustainable city. And so we were like, when we came back, we were like, we're going to talk about different ideas of how to bring funding and resources into this community. So Dr. Crossland, thank you so much because you just validated what needs to happen. God always does this. And it's definitely, when I saw the looks on their faces, I said, team, do you guys see what I see? I think we need to bring art here. And it was just not even anything that I thought of before. So I would love to connect with you on how to do that because I know that they would all get involved in doing that. And our website is set up to house something of that nature, being that we are a 501c3. So I would absolutely love that. And I really thank you for that idea. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I've got your next slide up, Dr. Adama.
Yeah, these are some
familiar creatures.
Yeah, these are some of the beautiful babies that I have to go ahead and say that my official photos are still in the works. So I'm just working on what I could take, because the photographer took tons, but you don't realize that there are children who never received a toy or a plush bear, and it may seem like it's not a big deal, but it's a huge deal in these communities where they are surrounded by abject poverty. So when we thought they didn't know about it was a surprise to them because this is usually Christmas time they're expecting. So these were like right on time, ma'am. And in fact, I still have some more to ship because I couldn't ship all of them, but we did identify some other communities. We have a orphanage and a hospital, and I said, these bears are going to be endlessly bringing hope to people that are in need. So I just want to, again, on behalf of the children and the community, say thank you, ma'am, for thinking of Impact Sierra Leone because they were so encouraged by it. And I mean, immediately started playing like this was going to be their best friend. One of the children, these are the nurses at the clinic. We brought donations to the clinic and baby clothes and then one of the nurses had a child, and when I gave him the bear, it was almost like you just gave him a new just rejuvenated him. And his mom standing right next to me. So there's about 4 nurses that are in that village, and we had just got finished giving a distribution of like a whole lot of medical stuff to them.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it was an honor to support you, Dr. Adama, and we'll be willing to support even further as you plan your next adventure
Yes, ma'am.
Toys are always a light in American children's eyes. And so naturally, Mayor just figured it would be the right thing to do.
Yes,
Bringing
ma'am.
it to Impact Sierra Leone was a joy. And I want you to
Yes,
know that, everyone is grateful for the works that you're doing. Bringing these types of things to light shows us that a little goes a long way. And
yes,
I did
indeed.
see that sweet baby's face.
Yes,
I'll go back one. I mean, just look at her. Just a
yes,
beautiful, beautiful queen. And
yes,
so this is something that keeps them warm at night, that
yes,
makes sure that they have a friend when they
yes,
don't have anything else. This is something that they can build the imagination. And imagination
yes,
builds also hope, faith, and a belief. And hope, faith, and belief is what we always encourage, particularly in environments that are strained for resources, particularly. Dr. Crosland, I see your hand as well, and we'll go to the next slide for you, Dr. Adama.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Adama, I have my glasses on now, and I see your dress that you're wearing right now. It
Yes,
is beautiful, and
yes.
beautiful as always. I want to compliment you on that.
Thank
And
you.
and also the animals, that the stuffed animals are just so cute. I would like to have one. Oh my
Yes,
God, they are huge. So when Mayor Cross told me that she was giving the Sierra Leone project, she was so excited. For weeks, she was so excited about them, the stuffed toys, and I thought they were going to be like little tiny ones. I had no idea.
oh,
They're as big as the children. Thank
yes, yes. They actually, some of them started clapping. I mean,
you.
I don't think you realize this is actually impacting their generation, because that toy will change their mindset for that moment in a hope that you probably wouldn't even realize. And it's almost like just turning them their thought process of just seeing everyday whatever. But I feel like we let them a jewel that is going to have so much more benefit in the future. And so
And
I
long
just,
time after you're back in America, they are still holding that at
yes,
night and
yes,
remembering this. And that is what keeps the dream of Impact Sierra
the
Leone.
impact,
When
the
you are
impact.
united, building the impact, this is delivered.
Yes,
This is impact for a lifetime. And that baby will last and be
yes,
passed down, you see, as a legacy.
yes,
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. Beautiful,
yes,
beautiful. And then
yes.
also with the nurses there, I see Madam Queen. Is that the director in her red gown?
Yes, it is. She
That
was
is,
like, and again, they had their challenges, because this is like a more maternal hospital. So the baby clothes, the baby items, So this, when I said Journey of Impact with the community, this is a community that we adopted for a few years because we wanted to grow with the community. We didn't want to just hop around Sierra Leone, we really wanted to see that impact. And so this community is hit in all levels, and that's where the seeds of life came from, because I didn't want to just say, all right, we're just doing farming. We're working with a farming community, but they also have a school, they also have a clinic, and the stakeholders, so it's all kind of intertwined. So that's where you see that we hit and visited all the different parts of the community. These are the women. This was my meet and greet. This is my first time going to see them, and just letting them know that I was coming back the following week to have the women's event. And so these are some of the women farmers. We were actually visiting the area where they wanted to show me where they were farming at. But again, throughout, they were with me. Again, we're not speaking the same language, but they were letting me know that you are with us. You have not left us. Like a lot of people come with organizations, they come to communities and they don't really stick around or help them. And they said, you have been with us since 2020. You have not left us. So you are with us. And it was a good feeling.
and I believe you told me when you first started coming to, is it the Fondue Village?
Foindu, yes. Mm-hmm.
Fondue?
Yeah, Foindu, Foindu, Foin, like
Fondue. I used my Mississippi tongue and said fondue. Forgive me, Fondue. So
yes.
in the Fondue Village, you told me initially when you got there, because of the language barrier as well, And I remember you look different on your first trip there when you sent me the initial pictures.
Yes,
You tried to match their environment, the now culture. I
right.
was very impressed and appreciative, I believe, that you kept really in this visit your Americanized adaptive culture, because
Yes,
what you're showing is that international flavor, that international connection. Yes,
correct.
you are Sierra Leonean. Yes, that's your heritage. But here is where you are. And so you
Yes,
are literally carrying the flag with you in your attire. This is what Dr. Adama looks like in America. And so when you
correct.
come, you carry the flag. So I wanted to compliment you on all of the pictures and what I saw and how you maintain your normalcy. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
didn't adjust to their normalcy, because that would mean, okay, where's your culture? Where's your language? Where's
Yes,
this? You don't have all those cultures. So it looks like it made it a more adaptive
yes, ma'am.
chance for your visit this time, because you preserved that linkage between the nations.
Yes, right. And that is so important because I want to also send a message to people that are like me, born and raised here, that are parents from another country. Because we have a different responsibility. We have a different hat that we wear. And we have a decision. We can either be fully American, fully African, or we can, like you said, merge together. And I feel like it's so much power for you to be able to embrace both cultures without losing your identity. And I think it's important because they want to know about America too. So, I think everybody, I want to send that message that your culture, your roots, your background, that is part of your destiny. And you have to find a way to pull that in reaching that purpose.
It's just
So
like a marriage, right? You
it
marry
is.
a husband and you marry a wife, you are one. But in
Yes.
being one, you bring your whole self to the table. I
Yes,
love this.
ma'am.
I love everything about your presentation. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Yes. No, well, you're fine because you're helping me tell the story. Of course, I had to visit the farm because they work all year round, and I wouldn't do justice if I don't go visit. So this was the pepper farm, and they were just so proud to let me know that the peppers were almost ready to harvest. And it was for me that was their pride. They were like, please, we work hard for you. We work hard. Look at the peppers. And so that whole area, you can't really see it from the photo, but they have land upon land upon land in Foindu. And they have reiterated that Impact Sierra Leone is officially a part of Foindu, meaning that anything you guys want to do here, because you are here to develop our community, they let me know Impact Sierra Leone is here. And so all the 4 areas that where the farm and crops, I help with the brushing and clearing and everything. And right now the women are about to plant corn and groundnuts. And part of the outreach events, the workshop, I call it, I presented 2 cups of corn to each of the women and they were beyond happy. So that's going to be coming down the line, but that was a visit to the farm. And that was just me. I wrapped my head up because of the dust.
No, I love it. Again, you're incorporating the flavor of your heritage as well
Yes,
as your raised culture.
yes,
I
yes,
think it's the perfect thing to do. And you're a queen, Dr.
yes.
Adama. You are a vision, a beauty in the midst, and I can see far, far, far. I'm a farm girl myself, 80 acres. My father had 80 acres.
Wow,
And at the time of his passing was purchasing more acres. And this is an 8th grade educated man. So,
wow.
like I said, literacy does not equate to your progressiveness when you got your mind right. Okay.
Exactly.
So I'm not, I just recently found out while you were gone that I'm actually 31% Nigerian. I
Whoa.
know. And then also Cameroonian, the Bantu people, 18%, Benin and Togo, 17%, and Mali, 14%. That comprises roughly about 80% of who I am. And then you had the Ivory Coast and Ghana, the Wales, Sweden, Denmark, a little bit of Ireland, Senegal, and Iroquois Indian.
Wow. So you are pretty much a West African queen because
I
all
mean, we are just made up of all
are
of the
on
best
the
of
West
everything. We are the
Coast of
West Coast.
Africa. You are all West Coast. So if we made you potato leaves or some kind of stew, you would really enjoy it because you are like West
I
Coast.
had the unique opportunity of going to Dr. Charles's birthday. Of course, he's Nigerian, and they
Yeah.
made the traditional meal, and everything had peppers in it. So I bought that
Yeah.
up because Dr. Crosland was with me. The whole meal was like
It's
literally
spicy.
peppers, and there
Yeah.
was a pepper soup. And I thought, what do you do with pepper soup? He said, well, you put bread in it and eat it. I
Yeah.
said, eat the peppers.
Yep.
Listen, I love this whole mayoral forum. It's just making my heart sing. You know, I'm a political scientist as a bachelor's degree, but my master's degree is international relations. So,
Right.
Ambassador Colloquial, you have really enlightened me, and I just want
Yeah.
to say thank you again for allowing me to have this on the mayoral forum for April.
I want to mention something really quick. So I'll go ahead and end by saying that at the end of the day, the visit was amazing. The outreach was there. We did leave with two key things for the remainder of the year 2024. And our goal is to build a vocational skills training center. So that is really going to be like our solution base to bring in the funding there, helping them put the work because they want to learn how to sew, they want to learn how to make flowers, and that's what I like to do that. And so they have already selected the land. And if you see our posts on my Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, they have the leaders have selected a land. I made a signpost that said future site of the Poindu vocational skills training, Poindu Impact, because they said they want impact involved. And so I did that so that we can actually be able to build other centers in other villages. But more importantly, Impact Sierra Leone is an official partner of the Global Giving platform. It's like a huge network that they work with different nonprofits. They vet you, you're approved, and they approved us for the Vocational Skills Center. And for the next 3 weeks, anyone who makes a donation, it will be matched. So I'm going to share that with you. I could not find the flyer, but I just wanted to share that from this trip, the door opener is we're going to aim to build a skills training center that will benefit the women, but also the men. And it's on the Global Giving platform. So that's what we're working towards. So anybody who wants to think, how can we help impact Sierra Leone? All of these things that I've done can be all kind of filtered into this skills training center. Their first infrastructure, like solid infrastructure that we will be able to connect the American community with, because we will make it with solar. We would have computers. We would teach them skills. So I just want to make sure I end with that. That is like the end goal. And I'll share with you, it's an easy link. So anybody can go on there. They look up Impact Sierra Leone, and our project is called Vocational Skills Training for Women Farmers.
Vocational skills training. And I presume that vocational skills meaning like seamstress skills,
Yes, so it's carpentry,
art even.
yes. Yes, so the art would be a part of it, the carpentry, anything that can, even the quilt making, because these are things that like Dr. Crossland said, we want things that also can be sold. We can build an online store and introduce people to Sierra Leone culture. So this is kind of like the Win Women. That's the Women's Empowerment Workshop that we had, Inspire Inclusion. So this skills training center is even going to have where they can be able to learn, have literacy. I wanted to put like a library, like kind of mini library, but also introduce them to, like some soft skills on the computers. So it's really going to help bring light to that community. Those are the women. They're so excited when I came, and they were like, let's take pictures. So
I love them.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Look at that. Our heritage, it sings. And my goodness, this picture here, Doctor.
Oh, I was at the beach. That was the day before I left. I just wanted to. I always try to introduce that tourism aspect. I'm wearing an outfit that was made for me. I have a seamstress. She is also named Adama, and so if anyone goes, I have people already ready and lined up to make you some beautiful clothing. But I told her I'm your model. And so we went to the beach, and I modeled like 4 outfits, and I said I'm taking everybody to Sierra Leone, I promise, and that means all of Sierra Leone.
Oh my goodness, she's an absolute talent. Look at that. And those are sheer sleeves, huh?
Yes, it is.
You said it
Yeah.
was hot. What was the temperature like? And look at that beautiful beachfront property.
Yes, ma'am. I went to the beach and it was beautiful. I think because right now the rainy season starts in May, so it's like really, really hot. So I would say like 85, 90. It was like that kind of like dry, but then sometimes humid heat. But then, even then it kind of died down. The other picture that was actually on the way coming back from the village, I was talking to the farmers, the Corps volunteers, and just kind of giving them my own telling the story about what we're want to do for the remainder of 2024. That was one of the classrooms that they used to meet in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, and of course, I gave sunshine bags. You remember those sunshine bags that we did? We
I know.
also gave each of the women a sunshine bag, and they loved it. It really, brightened their day. And of course, these are some of my volunteers that I took it with. So we took sunshine all the way to Sierra Leone.
I love it. You know, yellow's my color. My mother's favorite
Oh,
color was yellow. And so upon her passing, of course,
yeah.
I was a mere 19 years old. So
Wow.
this is how I honor her. And when you see me
Wow.
in yellow, that's me representing and honoring my
Well, we're
mother.
gonna have to find you a nice yellow African fabric.
Thank you, thank you. I love your sunshine bags. Dr. Adama and I have done several projects in the transitional senior facility there on the border of Maryland and DC. And bringing the sunshine bags is always a hit. Now,
Yes.
Mayor may buy some hat and gloves, and they're in a cute little Santa package, but they never ever get as much enjoyment as the sunshine
Yes, I
bag.
know.
But
They're like,
I do love the sunshine bags, and look at the sun there. Is
yeah.
this part of the eclipse that you able to catch the
No,
eclipse?
it wasn't the eclipse. It was on the way from the farm and the sun was setting. I said, guys, stop for a moment. I need to take in the African sun. And
Oh
I
my
stood
goodness.
and I took a picture and I said, God, I am here. I am here. And it was a moment that they were all kind of trying to hurry up. But I said, no, I have to stop for a moment. I need to stop and breathe this in. And that was what I wanted to capture the sun on the other side of the world.
So Sierra Leone is, and I see your hand, Dr. Crosland. I see some poem there. Is it like the African safari, or do they have like wild animals that do roam, particularly in the rural areas around the villages?
I didn't see any. I think it depends on what area. I was in the northern part. I believe they said like in the southern part, which is like Bo, Kenema. You may see that. We do have a chimpanzee zoo, but not like South Africa and Kenya. I don't think we have those kind of like things where you just see them running wild. I wasn't looking for any, so I was very careful as we were walking because the car could not go to the farm, so we had to walk a distance, and but I didn't see any, so I'm glad that I can't answer that question fully.
Dr. Crosland, I see your hand.
Okay, am I on camera? Is this working?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so what I'm thinking as well is when you mentioned a small library, and that is so huge, and I would like to work with Mayor Cross through Collective Impacts Foundation Corporation, even though we're not a religious organization, and add some Bibles so that when you go back, you could take a few Bibles with you
That'd
for
be
the
great. Yeah,
library.
that would be great.
If Mayor Cross brings it to the board the next time we have a meeting and we vote on it. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be nice. They would definitely use those. Those who are that go to church, they would definitely use those. That would be really nice.
Is the religion Christian or Muslim?
So it's mixed. In the rural parts, you would probably say it's more Muslim, but they do have those of the Christian faith. So more so in the city, and we have some, communities that we kind of work with. You would see more churches, but in the rural parts, ironically, they're more the Muslim faith. So,
Wow.
and during that time, this is Ramadan season. So when I did the party, they were like, "Oh, we can't eat, but we'll take it with us. So when we break our fast, we eat." So, the sip and paint, they couldn't sip whilst we were painting. So, but they did take and wrap, and they took their food with them. So as soon as they broke their fast, they were going to eat that food that we brought. And there was a cake. I didn't really share the picture, but I did have someone that's on our team. We made a 3-layer cake to celebrate the women. And just, again, these were just things that were to uplift them, just add that kind of extra, show that we care. And again, this is some of the people that supported us with donations. That was how that one made possible. So these are some of the cups that were inside, and some of my volunteers, we were, and of course the children were just coming up to me. So every time my child came, I said, "Let's take a picture," and they just were drawn to me, and it was such a beautiful feeling.
You are a beautiful soul. So it's not a mistake that you are, again, assigned. These are assignments. Okay. These are assignments. Humanitarian work is always work that you pay for. And
Yes,
these are
ma'am.
assignments. And I'm so honored again to know you, to have served alongside you, and know that your work, your word is your bond, and your work is your service. And
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what it's all about. Just a beautiful display here. I love the signs, which gives us, a future women entrepreneur, that gives us an inclusion champion. The words that we, even in our now societies, talking diversity, equity, and inclusion. Next month, I'll be having the multicultural Mother's Day tea. And
Oh,
traditionally, that Mother's Day tea, I'll have it on the 11th of, uh, of May from 12 to 3. I usually do it over at the community center. But
wow.
that Mother's Day tea is a very intimate setting where we can diversify, that we can invite multiple cultures, the nourishment, the foundation of creation by, with, and through the birthing process is the woman. And
Yes.
so we are so honored always to see our women, to see what you're doing with the empowerment of the Women Entrepreneurial Program. Because if you can get the women to believe and have the hope, they are the caretakers of the community. The
Yes.
grandmothers are the caretakers of the children. When they believe, the children will believe. You will
Yes.
change the dynamics of the future of the Fwandu village
Yes,
because
indeed.
you were there. Okay.
Yeah.
And then look at this, just absolutely delightful.
So, I
Beautiful,
told
beautiful.
you I make flowers. So there was a young lady that was at the house that I was staying. We made those flowers in the porch. So she enjoyed it. And but because she's one of the orphans, we older ones, she didn't we didn't get her a camera. But so we basically said this is going to be something that we're also going to introduce, because for weddings, for people that want to have flowers, that could be part of their sustainable development. So all these flowers came from the United States, and I just said, you know what, we're going to sit here, and I had fun with it. So,
True
and
story. True
yeah,
story.
yes,
Now,
and
I've had literally 5 combat tours to war, one of which global war on terrorism took me to the Philippines.
wow,
And yellow roses, I flew in yellow roses from America to give to the Sulu Archipelago. And what we do is we bought the commander down. We bought the combatant commander down. And we gave the people an opportunity to present the service certificates, the service orders from the Philippine American War, so that they can receive just an appreciation
wow,
from the commanders. And
wow,
those flowers were just like liquid gold.
wow,
Those flowers, the yellow flowers of friendship, was handed out to everyone as they came with their stories and tears in their eyes to present their service letters from their deceased now relatives, held the paperwork that long so that they can receive the appreciation in the absence of their loved one.
wow,
Dr. Adama, flowers are the beauty, but the birth, if you will, the fragrance, the essence of joy, hope, and
Wow.
encouragement. I
Wow.
love what you're doing here with the flowers. When I saw that picture, it just took me back to my service years. And
Yes.
the little things matter so much. And we had a line when the first one went out the door, wrapped around the entire village. And
Wow.
everybody found their paperwork. And we literally ran out. And I told the commander then, I said, I told you to order 5 cases.
Wow.
But
You just give me goosebumps
it's
because
a
I know
beautiful story.
now they're gonna each receive flowers to put in their area in their home. I love
Absolutely.
this. I love this.
Every and the dried flowers last forever as well.
Yes.
So there's a certain breed of roses that we purchase, and I'll look it up. But when
Okay.
they die, they maintain their color and they
Okay.
stay together because they're really tightly woven. They grow real
Okay.
tight, and so even when
Wow.
they bloom, the root is still very taut. So
Wow.
when it dries, they can literally case it for years. And then
Wow.
there's another thing I actually saw and got one for my exec actually for his birthday. But they have now little cubes with real live flowers in water, a solution that preserves them. And that was over a couple of years now, and it still maintained its red color and everything. So,
Wow.
I mean, those are another alternatives. There's so
Yeah.
much on the internet. We can find something. More of
Yes.
the
Yes.
more little beautiful toys. See, Chuck E. Cheese made it.
Yes. Yes. And
Oh, how
they
look at
just
those
they
beautiful smiles.
appreciated all of them. They appreciated all of them. So it was definitely, I always like to see when you see the recipient, it's definitely something that is going to make a difference. So
How did you determine what child got what? It was just the first come, first serve.
so one of the things about doing outreach in rural communities is that when there's a distribution of any kind, you need to tie up your shoes and put your boots on because people are ready to receive. And there are not times as, you think about how sometimes it's after the fact, like, okay, we should have did this. So we actually did it like after everything was over, we just started distributing and it got a little wild. I won't even. So we had to kind of transfer and go to the clinic. And so I said, going forward, every distribution is going to be aligned. So it was literally like we were like passing them out. And as we were passing, it was just kind of like tussle. So, you live and learn, but, people are in need. People know, when it comes to, they were bringing their babies, they were like, because everyone has a baby. And I wanted to really make sure that the young ones that weren't going to school really had that, that friend, like you said. So it just, when you have these kind of situations, it just makes you feel like, okay, I'm going to do this better. You're going to do this, and do this. So it wasn't like,
Hold on. Unmute, doctor.
unmute. I don't know how that
Okay.
happened.
There you
Um,
go.
when we saw that it was becoming a little bit chaotic, we had to kind of think on our toes and say, okay, we're going to move it to another location. So again, this is a door opener. I know that we're going to do it because I don't think we got to all the kids because it was just such a crowd. And I think because some other communities, they hear the speakers, they hear the DJ, and they come over and like, oh, people are giving things away because it's such a huge need.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I,
We're
I I would
definitely going
I
to
would love to
partner.
tell you that we had an order of things, but it was almost like, all right, it's time to give out, and
You
people were.
said lace up your shoes and put
I,
on your boots.
I
Get
said,
ready.
oh, I said we going into the
I love this.
battlefield,
I love it.
but it
Oh,
was,
Dr. Autumn, so amazing.
yes,
So
and
amazing.
these are the 40 women, all different ages. Again, they all came. I mean, these are women when we first started, they weren't speaking. They kind of had this like trust factor. This was the first time we meet and greet the men and the women as I first came to the village and just letting them know that, I'm here for a purpose. I'm here and we're going to continue our efforts to try to build the infrastructure. So I had my translator with me. So it was just with the people, and it's a lot of people.
That's just amazing. I absolutely love. What's the village population?
It's about, I would say, almost 500, like 500, 550. And I actually, one of the do outs for some of my team members, we're going to try and do some assessments, what you call like, data assessments, because I need to get the proper breakdown of numbers. So they did have a lot of lists for some of the things we were distributing, but I told them we got to refine it so I can get an accurate number, because we have all the children, we have the women, we have the stakeholders, we have the football team, even the youth, because we started a football team last year. So they came and they were like, we just want you to know we want to play games. So, we try to make sure that we help and reach as many as we can. And we gave them clothes, and we had a clothes distribution. I forgot to mention. So everybody got, we tried to do clothes and shoes. So it was a true humanitarian visit.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of that. And
Yes.
literally, the resiliency of community is social cohesion. And so
Yes.
you have given just another piece of glue and activities designed to prevent, gang recruitment, to prevent
Yes.
violence, to build social interaction. And I can
Yes.
see from the babies with just the toys how the one is just clutching that purple
Right.
baby,
Yes.
and you can tell that they're going to play together differently
Yes.
now. So now they
Yes.
have a tangible something that they can create. An imagination is the key.
Yes.
Disney had it best. Imagination
Yes.
sets the future.
Yes.
Futurama came out of an imagination. If you can think it, if you believe it, you can be it. Dr. Crosland.
Yes, and I remember, Dr. Anima, the first or second time you and I spoke, maybe 3 years ago.
Yes.
And you talked for a week, I think it was, about your wonderful ideas to make Sierra Leone affluent. And I just listened to you and I was just in awe. And then the next time I saw you, you were still talking about it.
Yes.
And you finally went there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That is amazing.
And you remember when we talked, you mentioned about the pageantry, and you said, wouldn't it be a nice thing to do something like that in the village? Now, they love competition because we did a dance contest. They want to do cultural dance and have their outfits, and so that's part of the other effort. But I gave a gift prize. I had an Impact Sierra Leone bag design. But it's always something that's been in the back of my head when you talked about that, because they have tons of girls. And Mayor Cross, I did something that was so cute. I ordered these head flowers, these different flowers you put in your head. I can't find it. And I had extras. So I got about 20 of the young girls between, like, I would say 9 and 13. And they each got a flower to put in their head. And you think they got $1 million. And we got a picture together, and I spoke about the power of the girl child because of the extreme things that they go through more than the boy child. That all the children are a blessing, but the girl child, particularly in the rural areas, they have a lot more, setbacks. So that pageantry is still in my head. It is going to be something that we do down the road, because when we build that modern school, it's going to be a cultural arts piece about it. And I have never, that thought has never left my head. Whenever I see the girls, I said, just imagine if they all had their dress. We get the DJ here and they can compete, because they love the dance contest was a huge thing. So I just wanted to say, I want to let you know, I thank you for always pouring these ideas into me, because they do make a difference. And I can't think of everything. And it just makes it, like I said, together we rise. I really love that you had that spirit of just endless thoughts, because it changes. So I'm letting you know, that pattern is going to happen. I will work with you on that down the road. We're going to do something where the girls can do that, and we can do something even for the boys, because they will get together and they will sew an outfit. We give them each maybe $10, and they use that to kind of, get prepared. So I just wanted to make sure I say that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we've got a little bit of time left, about 4 minutes.
Yes.
But Dr. Adama, just, if I had 1,000 tongues, I can't thank you enough for just sharing your delivering impact strategies, your
Yes.
story of what you've experienced, what you've witnessed, encouraging, uplifting, not
Yes.
just gender bias, but gender encouraging. You're
Yes.
driving hard in a direction of efforts to build and take away that digital divide, even.
Yes.
Eventually, we're going to have connectivity that soars throughout. And I talked to our Judge Sylvania Woods Elementary School students on yesterday at their career day. And one of the key things that I was telling the sixth graders is COVID-19 did a number on everybody, but it
Yes.
literally, in its worst, gave a blessing to this generations that coming
Yes.
up because they have the whole world at their fingertips. Now, a lot
Yes.
of people say that was a dangerous thing, but it was inevitable. And this is how God moves, right? He thrusted
Exactly.
us into an environment where their knowledge, their ability, their keen insight, their street smarts, now
Mhm.
edified by all this extra stuff we had to wait for Encyclopedia Britannica to show up to tell us, is
Yep.
going to solve things like cancer, world hunger.
Yes.
They're going to
Yes.
be the next, Secretary of States. And one of the kids told me, he said, I'm going to be the next president. And
All right.
he's an African American. So I said, go ahead then. I said, now, let me see, how old are you? He says, I'm 11. I said,
Yes.
so we got to wait that long? You got to be 18. 7 more years.
Uh-huh.
Let's go. So
And Dr.
he's
Crossland
so
just said
excited.
something really important. That is the key thing that we want to go to the next level is community partnerships with Sierra Leone.
Mhm.
And that's a thought. I don't have it all figured out, but I would love for us to explore ideas. I'm going to talk to my board about it because I know the kids over there would love to engage with the kids that are over here in some way, fashion, or form. So I will be the one that make that in terms of that end. That's what Impact Ceiling serves as a bridge. So any ideas you guys have, I am open. I'm all for it. And again, I'm trying to go back in December by God's grace, to do like a mission trip. So you guys, I'm available. And you know,
Dr. Crosland stated that it'll be great to see the children of Glenarden in partnership. And we can even do pen pal letters that are art driven because I did a anti-violence sports fanatic art contest. And
yes.
four of our children in our elementary schools will be accompanying the first family to a hockey game, a basketball game, and a soccer game. So we're combining art with a community anti-violence message, but also with sports. And so when you talk, I mean, we're all about the sustainable peace and development strategy that you have ahead. So you definitely got my support. And I will continue my active involvement with Impact Sierra Leone, both domestically and internationally. We have a
Yes.
numerous amount of civil society organizations that are actually building not only financial literacy, but educational literacy. And then
Yes.
we have a lot of government efforts that I'll tell you is on the docket for health, education, women empowerment,
Oh,
agricultural
awesome.
merit, peace building, and it goes on and on. We're going to bring attention and support. And I think Sierra Leone may be the model for the nation.
I love that. I love that. Is it for such a time as this? As I was on the plane, I said, God, all of this happened for a purpose. Like, there's no coincidence. This is my 8th year going to Sierra Leone, and each year it was a momentum builder. And I said, God, you really, this is something that I said I wanted to do, and the passion, as Dr. Crossland, was saying, this is all passion. And when you realize what God, it just goes off like, this is what I was born to do. It just has a new meaning. So I would love to maybe identify if there's maybe like a Glenarden community with the children. That pen pal, that would be awesome. And I wouldn't mind, like, maybe we identify, let's say 25 students that will be a part of this project, and I identify 25 students and we match them, and then we somehow have a way to ship them or DHL the letters. I'm just saying that it is definitely an idea that would open the door to so much more. So
I will tell
I
you,
am. I am ready.
We are game. We are ready to go.
We're ready.
We're
ready. I
ready.
think that'd be great for Mayor Cross. Mayor, I think that would be a really good project for you. I really do.
know, I've got some amazing principals, Principal Bowden, Principal Bond. They're wonderful principals. And even in our high schools, even, definitely, Dr. Adama, you have an amazing strategy, an amazing story, and you are an amazing woman.
Thank
So
you.
I thank you so much. We have met our time, and I hate to let it go because I'm telling you, I love hearing your story. But listen, I'm going to give you the last word. But before I do, again, I'm Mayor Kashina A. Cross. You've been on this Mayoral Forum for April 2024. Today, we're talking about rejuvenation, revival, and impact. Delivering the impact necessary to not only change lives and devastating solutions, but it is an imperative call on the humanitarianism in all of us. Yes. We are #moving the mission forward. Last word to you, Dr. Adama. Thank you so much.
As always, I'm honored to be a voice and to be able to share on this platform, Mayor Cross, just our relationship and just, God doesn't make mistakes on who he puts in your life. So I'm honored to be here with you amazing women. I do feel like a queen. I stand in that. I honor it. And it is something that leads me in everything that I do. So Impact Sierra Leone, our website, impactsierraleone.org. We got so many, over 2,500 photos that are coming. So the story, the journey is going to continue to be told. And I thank you just for this opportunity. This is just what they say, a little bit, the best is coming. And so as I said, Impact Sierra Leone, we are just a part of the weaving, quilt, I would say, of impact. But I want you to know that we are the bridge, and we are open and willing to work with Glenarden and the children, the women, all of that. So I'm glad and I'm happy to be here. And you, of course, know that I'm available at any time for anything. So December 2024, please put that in your mind that we're going to have an impact outreach mission trip to Sierra Leone by God's grace. And get ready.
Get ready. #moving the mission forward. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next month for the Mayoral Community Forum. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.